If you're a marketer trying to crack the code on authentic community building, or a brand leader trying to cut through the noise in 2026, this conversation is for you. I'm so excited to be kicking off the Creator Playbook for 2026 with Kamya Marva. She's a top 1% creator on LinkedIn, and we're going to be discussing how to grow without burning out, the difference between community building versus a following, and of course, how to cut through the holiday noise with Mariah Carey playing in the background. Kamya, thank you so much for doing this with the Digital Buff. Everybody knows you as a top 1% creator today, and I'd love to rewind a bit. What's your origin story and what inspired you to become a creator?
Yeah, no, I'm so happy to be here. So, I think I've always been a creator, just not in the kind of marketing space. But how it all began was I moved to the UK in 2021 to pursue my undergrad at UCL. And it was, I think, January. So, almost I had 3 months left for my like official final year at university to end. And I was like, my friends are either going to pursue a master's, or they have a job at a big four, or they have a job at a bank. What do I have? Nothing. So I was panicking at that minute, very typical. And I was like, I was applying for jobs, but I wasn't just able to crack through because I am international and the whole visa problem was coming into place. So I was like, okay, time to update my LinkedIn. And I kept coming across this term, personal branding, talk about your journey, put yourself out there. And I was like, if this is going to get me a job, I will do anything. I will even like post dancing videos at this point. And I feel like that's where it all began. However, there's also a twist to the story. So, January is when I decided that I want to start posting and become a creator, but I had no idea what that entailed. So, that was a complete flop, and I gave up. I gave up until September when I walked that stage, got the degree in my hand, and I was like, Kamya, life is getting serious. You still don't have a job. Okay, now is the time. And that is when my creator journey started. For 30 days, I spent 8 hours on the platform, commenting on every single person's post, DMing, spamming them, having coffee chats, and then finally found a role. So I think that's the start of my creator journey.
Oh my gosh, this is very inspiring because honestly, I think a lot of us, when we see LinkedIn creators at first, we see how popular they've become, we don't realize the effort and the journey that goes in the dark, right? It's like there's this one lyric from this song Up by Connor Price, and he says 10,000 hours in the dark. That's exactly the way you put it. And I love that you put in all that effort and you reap the fruit of finally getting the job. But I think something that you've gotten more out of that is a community. And so I'd like to delve into that piece where I think a lot of creators have a bit of a misunderstanding when it comes to this assumption of building a community versus building a following. How have you built your community?
Oh, I think that I can go on about community for hours. I think people think a successful brand or a successful personal brand equates a large following, but that, in my opinion, is actually just false. Because imagine if a post goes viral today, you get 5,000 new followers. If those 5,000 followers aren't your ICP, aren't getting you any opportunities, and aren't getting you a single dollar in the bank, then that's just pointless. So for me, community is about the people who will be there to tell you what's right, what's wrong, but more importantly, they will be there on behalf of you in rooms where you are not present. They will want to pitch you, they will want to talk about you, and they will recommend you. I feel like when you're building in public, community is something you have to build from day one, because social media is not an easy place to be. You will have people copying you, you will have people spreading hate, you will have people be mean to you. So you have to find that comfort group of people that you can actually fall back on, and they will understand kind of the ins and outs of the platform and what comes with it.
So well said. It's like, rolling with the punches no matter what is key. And I love how you put that, like finding your comfort group of people. Buffs, if you are listening, I really wanted to take note of what Kamya said. It's not easy. It's a thick skin that you have to develop as a creator. So, Kamya, now I'm going to delve into the season because it's officially October 1st when we're recording this. And that just means that there's Mariah Carey's songs just running in the background in almost every store you get into. So, what I want to ask is how do we cut through that noise? Because it's easy as creators to get really immersed into the busyness of the season, how would you recommend creators to stand out and still offer value amidst the busy season?
I think what people forget is that we all are humans in this space. Whether you're doing B2B or you're doing B2C or you're doing D2C, we are all humans. We all like that kind of personality. So make sure that you are embracing all of like the fun stuff that's going around, whether it's like the October memes or whether it's October 3rd meme or whether it's like Halloween. Incorporate it in a way that feels true to your brand, true to your values, whilst you're also kind of telling your audience that yes, we are people and we are talking to you as people. Because even in October or even in like kind of the Q4 period, if you're just going to be very rigid, very corporate, be like, this is what we sell, this is our product, people are going to just ignore you. So it's really important to adapt to the trends, but in the right way, in a way that feels intentional.
I love how you briefly mentioned there that, it one can tend to get very corporate accidentally. So that makes me want to kind of drive into a different space right now because you mentioned the word corporate. So the question I have is, what is something that you've taken from your corporate career and applied it to your personal brand? And what's something that you've unlearned from your corporate career?
I think where I would get these main learnings from was when I actually worked with a marketing agency, an advertising agency. They're quite big in the space. And I think one thing I definitely learned, and I still applied every single campaign I do, is the discipline of a strategy. And why I say this is, you can wake up on a Monday morning and be like, today I'm going to start posting on LinkedIn. That's amazing that you've thought of that, but that's also not ideal if you just post, vanish for the next month and never post again, because essentially you're not building a strategy. And I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, oh, so you build a content ecosystem or you have content calendar and you batch write content. Yes, because that's a strategy that works for me. So it's so important to build a strategy, a sustainably consistent strategy that works for you, because once you do, you will understand that what the results that you can achieve through that strategy. So I feel like definitely doubling down on having a strategy. It's basically your foundation. And one thing I would unlearn is, again, from my experience with these agencies, yeah, we have to make sure that the graphic is perfect and we have to make sure there are no typos, but we're humans. We want to make sure we're being perceived as humans. Don't always aim for perfection and always know that you're going to be 1%, if not 5% away from having the perfect piece. So I'm trying to prioritize progress over perfection. Even if I'm not very happy with how a carousel turned out, I'm going to be like, I have to post and I'm going to post it. And I'll see what my audience has to say, the feedback my community has to say. So I feel like nowadays people put too much pressure on themselves, like, it's not perfect. It's never going to be. We're not going to be perfect. So just embrace the progress and just go for it.
Honestly, I'm guilty of that as well. I've got this perfectionist mindset, and I love how you mentioned, being human. And however, with our current times in this AI era, how do you see AI changing the way we build communities, create content, and foster that level of trust with our followers and community?
Oh yeah, AI is another interesting topic because I have those AI warriors in my comment section every day, copy pasting and asking ChatGPT. But
Oh,
yeah, they ask ChatGPT what to post, and it's very, very clear. I think I can understand that it's definitely AI, but I feel like we've all heard the whole like kind of phrase like, oh, AI is not going to take your job, or AI is going to take your job. The debate is there. But for me, I just want to say, with the increasing number of people shifting their personal brand online now, AI will replace lazy content and AI will replace lazy creators. If you don't even want to kind of put 1% of effort into making sure that you're putting the personal in your personal brand, people will soon recognize it and there will be no way you can actually break through the crowd. However, when it comes to using AI, I think it's a really, really kind of great tool. It's just about how you use it. There's so much kind of you can do with it. There's so much potential. There's AI video creation, AI graphic creation, AI helping you write posts. So I think as long as the community maintains the layer of personality and kind of the human to human connection, AI will be there to add on to your efficiency layer. It will not be there to replace you at all.
That's very well put. In fact, a follow-up question to that would be, let's say to our buffs and other listeners who are starting out on their creator journey. And let's say they want to start out, they're extremely inspired by listening to this and they want to start out right away. What is one thing that you'd recommend, or one step that you'd recommend that they do? It's a non-negotiable as they begin in Q4 2025.
I think the first thing, I would have two things. The first thing being like, get the idea of like, I will start tomorrow out of your head. Say I will start today, because that tomorrow will never arrive. We'll keep waiting for the perfect time. It does not exist. So take the first step and start today. When I say start today, I mean time block in your calendar at least 2 hours, if not more or if not less. In your calendar for that you will simply engage with people. And I say this because it's so important, as I said before, to find your crowd and your community. So by engaging, I mean liking, commenting, thoughtful comments. Please don't ChatGPT their posts into AI and then not that. Thoughtful comments, send them DMs, ask people for coffee chats, and ask in a way that can actually it actually reframes the ask into like a give before you take question. Because I feel like people nowadays, even when they want to ask me for a coffee chat, which I'm more than happy to do, they make it very kind of like, I'm looking for a job and I need advice, or I'm building my personal brand and I need advice. That's great, but maybe people need a bit of an ego boost sometimes. So frame it in that way. And I would say do this for 2 weeks. Once you've done this for 2 weeks, you will be in people's eyes. I'm not saying you will be LinkedIn popular or everyone's going to know you, but those people will recognize you. So when you post out of kind of human kindness, they will reciprocate back. So you're not going to be there like, oh, no one's going to see my post. People will see your post eventually. So I feel like that's something I wish someone told me, but I hope it's useful, because I feel like that's the strategy I would do if I was to start again.
Extremely useful, and I honestly think everyone's taking notes. Whoever's listening to this is gonna be like, I'm taking this word of advice and I'm probably writing it down on a sticky note and just pasting it on the wall. So extremely useful, Kamya. Thank you so much for doing this with us. I think one way I really want to wrap up this session is through a rapid fire. So I'd love to ask you a couple of quick questions. And just feel free to give me your gut reaction, okay? One underrated metric you actually pay attention to on LinkedIn.
Comments.
Okay, amazing. If you had to start tomorrow with 0 followers, what would be your first move?
So as I said, find your tribe of people, time block those 2 hours, and just be in their comment section.
Okay, smart. The aha moment that changed your content for the better.
Oh, I think this was when I posted a meme about a spelling error typo I was doing for the last 7 months in my sign off, and people loved it. People loved it way more than my usual content. And I realized we are all humans. We're here for a laugh. We all like that low effort content. So I naturally started integrating more of that in my strategy.
Wow, okay, that is smart. One thing marketers or creators should stop doing in 2026.
Please stop following trends blindly. If it doesn't align with your brand, if it doesn't make sense for your brand, it makes no sense for you to do it. If I can give an example of this, so for the thin reels we were seeing, I was really confused at first. I had no idea what was going on. Someone with 4 eyes, I could not even see. I had to squint and kind of figure out what was happening. So for me to jump on that would have been so ironic, because I was typing and everyone talking about like, I can't understand this trend. So just be intentional with what you hop on.
And finally, one creator you think everyone should be watching on LinkedIn right now?
I would say has to be Lara Acosta. She's the LinkedIn queen. She's the reason I came on LinkedIn. And not only on LinkedIn, also check out her YouTube. I wish Lara was sponsoring this. She isn't. But yeah, genuinely very, very helpful content.
Kamya, this has been incredibly valuable. And I truly, truly appreciate what you're doing with us. Thank you so much for doing this with the Digital Buff. And I hope to have you again in 2026.
Oh, that would be a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.